Hi guys, so I am here in my kitchen with my friend Ernesto.
Hey there.
And Ernesto is from a company called HomeSquare, which I've been using, I think, for like the past 3 years. Because I went from living in a New York City apartment where I had a super and not a lot of space to take care of, to moving out of the city to the suburbs, having a house. Which I had no idea I actually had to do stuff to take care of so it didn't fall apart, until in some cases it was too late and my dryer stopped working, or the HVAC system, which I still don't even know what that stands for, isn't functioning properly. I didn't realize you actually do things and take care of your house. So I feel like a lot of people have to be in the same boat unless I'm the only one, which I find hard to believe. So Ernesto is going to tell me and all of you 5 things. We're going to start with 5. There's a lot more than 5, but today 5 things that we should all be doing to make sure our houses stay healthy. So I guess we'll get right to it with tip number 1.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, so as you mentioned before, it's always that one thing that you have to worry about that you don't know of. It's much like a car, right? You're driving a beautiful car. Your house is here. It looks beautiful and all that, but you don't know what's going on under the hood, right?
No clue.
We have a few things. We have a few things that are very basic, very basic, that a lot of people could actually perform, except that no one really ever said, okay, I want to wake up to cleaning my gutters. Nobody really wants to get the hair out of the drains. Nobody really wants to do that, right? So anyway, let's get started. Now, one of those things which is very, very important for the integrity of your house is obviously we have to keep water away from the house, right? Yeah. Sump pump. Okay, many of us know the sump pump, right? Many of us know that there's a sump pump. Many of us do not know what a sump pump is. Yeah. Okay, let's get to it. Sump pump basically pumps all the water out.
Okay.
It pumps the water out. But that little device, is very important to keep maintained. And we have to make sure that every single month, if possible, during the winter season, when we get a lot of rain, that is set in place. It's well adjusted, and also we have to prevent it from any cloggages. Okay. Because it can get clogged. Keep in mind that there's a lot of minerals coming from underground, and all of this gets in there, gets in the pipe, and it can cause big problems.
So that's if your sump pump isn't working, that's when you can have a major flood situation?
Absolutely. Okay. Basically, that is the first responder. Okay. Your sump pump, especially if you're in areas where we have high water tables. Your sump pump is the one that's going to take care of that water getting out of the house, and that has to be serviced. Okay. Now, briefly, what we do is we come and check that sump pump twice a year. We actually adjust it. We actually take care of all the mechanics of it, and then also make sure that it operates. Right? We walk around the house the one time a month, just make sure that the sump pump is actually operating. Okay. It's simple.
I wouldn't even know where to find it. Exactly. I know it's somewhere in my basement, but I have no idea where.
It's simple, but at the same time, it's something that people do not take care of and don't know how important it is.
Okay.
So we love to address that. We love to address that because we know that that's one item that we know is going to protect the integrity of your house, which is absolutely important. Water is the worst enemy.
Okay. Yeah. So number 1, guys, sump pump. Know where it is and make sure that it's maintained at least twice a year, if not more. Yeah. Number 2 is something outdoors, which I would take you guys outdoors and to my basement, but the Wi-Fi isn't great, so we're going to talk about the first 2 right here.
It's beautiful outside, actually.
It is so nice outside.
Anyway, so again, let's continue with the water. The water problems. Okay, gutters. What do gutters do? Just much like the sump pump, gutters will keep the water away from the house. But everybody knows that, especially around this part of the country, we got a lot of leaves, beautiful landscapes and trees, but that also can cause a lot of problems. We like to make sure that gutters are addressed at least two times a year. Okay. At least 2 times a year. Especially when we have a lot of...
Please excuse my dog, Norman. I don't need a doorbell or an alarm system because I got Norman. So don't come over and try and rob me because Norman's here. Anyway, continue.
But what happens with gutters, Jen, it's really complicated. It's an exhausting, labor, time-consuming process. Nobody really should just get up there, up in the ladder, get up there and then just clean those leaves and move the ladder, especially if you're by yourself. HomeSquare loves to do that stuff because that's the one thing that we know that makes our people happy. That you can actually see. Why? How can you see it? It rains, water is actually flowing down the gutter.
So you're basically cleaning out leaves and stuff to bring that falls in.
We got all the gutters taken care of. We clean them out, and also we focus our attention also on there's a little boot. At the end of the downspout. Yeah. Now, which people don't often pay attention to. Okay. That has to be addressed at least once or twice every 2-3 years. And why? Because stuff actually gets in there. Not really get in there. Yeah. It gets stuck. It creates like a ball.
Right.
That will block the water from flowing. So even if your gutter is nice and clean, well adjusted, level, the spout is blocked somewhere in the spout or also the boot.
I never did that.
It won't do anything. I mean, it's the purpose.
And what time of year should people typically get their gutters cleaned?
You know what? Depending, obviously, by your surroundings, right? Yeah. If you are surrounded by a lot of trees, like you are here.
Yeah, we're here in the Northeast.
Yeah, so we suggest that people do at least 2 to 3 times a year.
Okay.
But the very minimum, it obviously is 1 time a year, and you should do it right after fall season. Why? Because you wait for that season to end, you clean them up, and then there'll be rain. Or even better, if you can do it twice a year, you get ready for the fall season. You do it before fall, so you make sure that those leaves that will fall on the roof and all that stuff will not affect how efficient your gutters are, right?
Okay. Yeah. So guys, clean your gutters. You can't see them, but you don't want them to be stuffed up with leaves and stuff. And remember, I didn't even think of this. I just think of the actual gutters, but also the spout. I don't know if that's a technical term, but what's going to carry the water down, make sure that is not plugged up. All right, then number 3 involves drains and something called traps. I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so we have many components around the house, okay? And what they do is they actually keep the odors away from the house.
Okay.
Right? Nobody really wants to smell what that
what
smells
goes
like.
Down the sink,
all the stuff that goes down the sink, all the food, especially if you have a device like this one.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that your traps and your P-traps, which is basically that little P-shaped tube that's under. Here. So I would like to show you that.
We're gonna get fancy here, guys. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, so
let's do this.
Child locks. See, I'm responsible. You see, child locks under the sink.
So everybody has seen this. In many cases, a lot of people have actually had problems with this before.
Okay.
Because you will see water pooling around the sink, right?
Yeah.
What could be causing that is the fact that this little guy right here, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it.
Okay.
That gets overwhelmed with stuff. Food. I mean, just debris in general that you let down the drain.
Okay.
When you have a guy like this, it's going to be even worse.
Okay.
Because that actually accumulates stuff inside, and eventually it'll make its way out, right? So you want to make sure that that gets taken care of.
Okay.
We actually disassemble this. Once a year we go ahead and then take them all apart. We empty those, we clean them, and also we'll actually remove the garbage disposal. So that we make sure that all of that leftover stuff that's in it, it goes out. It goes out and it's clean, and obviously we can service the unit because that helps it work better.
And would this be for a kitchen and then also in bathrooms and stuff?
Every single sink has that. Every single sink has that because what happens is that little P shape keeps water inside. Okay. So if you have odors coming in and there's water there, it'll block the odor.
Okay, because it'll be stuck, so then it won't.
It'll be stuck, so you won't smell.
Right, like whatever.
Nobody really wants to know.
That is not going. That's going down.
And it could reek. Let me tell you, it could reek. If you guys do not do that, if that's not done ever, then eventually you'll see that it really it smells really bad. Yeah. So that and bathrooms and kitchens and utility sinks, they all have a trap. We address that just also because we like the smell, the nice smell of the house.
Like scented candles can only do so much. Clean out the drains and the traps.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And then our next one, we're gonna go now cleaning the vent registers.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. So here, let's check out a vent.
Yeah. So vent registers. One thing about houses, Jen, is that in many cases nowadays we do have forced air, right?
Okay.
We have forced air. Many houses back in the day, they had the radiators and then AC units, window units. But in many cases nowadays, houses like this one will have guys like this.
Okay.
We all know that
show you the
what this feels is like a strong draft of air.
Yes.
Okay? What happens with these guys is because, as you can see, they're located down in the floor. Okay. It gets dirty. It gets dirty around here.
Especially this is where my kids play.
Exactly.
So there's probably Peppa Pig toys in there.
No, you mentioned that your kids play around here. You guys sit here. A lot of stuff gets in there. Okay.
Okay.
So what happens is no one really understands in many cases why you're like sneezing out of nowhere. Okay? Turns out that when your system actually kicks in, there's the draft is really strong and it'll blow. You can't see it because it's air, right? Oh. But all that stuff, all that contamination will get airborne. Okay. So what we like to do, and this is a bit about health, matter, right? We like to remove this, okay, and continue. I mean, a few times a year, we like to get in there, as far as we can, clean all the stuff that gets in there. In many cases, it's even greasy, right? If you have pets,
yes,
you should
which,
do it more
as
often.
you've heard, I have a cat.
Yeah, which you do.
Yeah.
So why do you want to do it more often? Well, if anyone in the family has allergies, if you guys have pets, cats, and all that stuff is going to get there, and it's not going to help. No, in many cases, or at least we suggest that people do like whole house duct cleaning. Okay, that's a whole nother service. Okay, and that can be done, and it should be done also. But this is important because the majority of the contaminants stay here. Okay?
Right. Oh,
so often enough you should do it because that you will see the difference. You will feel the difference.
Yeah.
And that is a thing that nobody really thinks about. Okay.
I always figured like the allergens and things like that were like on the couch and the blankets and stuff that the dog sits on, but it gets in there.
But guess where they come from.
Yeah.
Where they come from. Huh. Yeah. So that would be another item that I really like to tell people. It's important. It's important that you guys do it. It's important that someone has someone helpful to all of that stuff. Because it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference.
That's good to know. Okay, so that's number 4, guys. Clean the vent registers. And here, I'm going to use I never thought my selfie stick would come in handy. But alas, look at this. Here we go. So now we're going to go for number 5. Yeah. And number 5 is, I'm cutting off your head.
I'll stay back.
I need like go-go gadget arms. Actually, I think if I turn like this. So next up, we're going to go up to the laundry room. And this is, Norman, watch out. He blends in with the carpet, so it's hard to see him. So the 5th item on the must-do list involves the dryer vents, I believe.
Yeah.
So off we go to the laundry room, which is a room that Ernesto is familiar with in my house because about like a year ago, my dryer locked on itself, and I couldn't figure out what to do. So I went into like my little HomeSquare app. I wrote emergency, and then the dryer was working again. But here's part of the reason was I didn't know this. So here we go. All right. So here we are in my laundry room.
So I guess it was good that we left this one out for last because this is, if anything, a hazard. Okay. Yeah. This is a hazard, and this guy, the dryer gets really hot. The dryer gets extremely hot sometimes. Yeah. And what happens is if you let them run for a long time, obviously all that lint, will spill from the clothes and it's going to go inside the line. Okay. It's going to, much like the stuff that we were talking about downstairs that accumulates inside, it's going to happen over here.
Okay.
Big difference here. Let me show you here.
Let's see.
Big difference is, in this case, and I'm not sure if you can see it, and I will actually show it. There's an elbow. Can you get in there? Okay, get in there. There's an elbow that's like trapped in between the wall and the washing machine. Okay. So the turn is very restricted. Okay. So all that lint that this guy produces, will get stuck very easily there. Okay. Very easily. If you have a family of more than 2 or 3, you wash clothes pretty often. So then you're gonna be drying more often. So there's a big risk that a lot of lint gets stuck in there. You guys gotta know, in the U.S., about 15,000 homes. The result, the fires happen because of the dryer, the washing machine.
And even if like you're cleaning like this filter fit like this is not sufficient. Like cleaning that's one thing, but this is just.
So that is the one thing that everybody likes to do, which is fairly easy. You just did it, right?
I love cleaning it. It's very rewarding taking all this stuff out.
And you know who loves to do that? Also, you know who loves to do that? Boy Scouts.
Boy
Scouts love this stuff because it's their favorite source to start a fire.
Huh. Okay.
They also love to do this. They also love to collect this.
Okay.
And that's a fact. That's a very interesting fact.
It's a good way to remember that.
And you know what? You do this, and this is all good, and blah blah blah. We go inside. But then what happens is, if there's any leftover, anything that was not taken care of, will start,
that's all right.
Probably the other way around.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I don't plan on using
There it
this
is.
anymore. All right.
Yeah, we'll start getting stuck in that elbow, and imagine this.
Yeah.
Just imagine that. If I were to take a match now here, and I light this, it'll just go in flames. Okay. So guess why those 50,000 homes no.
Yeah. So this is basically what gets stuck in
that.
That's
basically this. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. And this is bad now, but that's because you just wash clothes, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you can easily do it yourself, but that stuff behind the dryer is really hard to get to. Plus, we have to take this machine apart. Off of this portion that you have here for the drainage. We have to lift it, we have to disassemble it, and then we have to actually go all the way inside, all the way until we find the means of exit. Okay. Which in many cases is really far. Okay. Which doesn't make it any better. Right. Because if it's really far, it means that heat it's worse, builds up, and then by the time that the actual air exits the duct, it's really hot, so that can cause a fire.
So how often do you think people should be
That is the thing that, obviously, again, like many things around the house, depends on how often you really use your appliances, but at the very least, we like to do it twice a year. Okay. We like to do it twice a year. For a family of 4 or 5 like you guys, definitely a 2-time-a-year service. Okay. Yeah. So that's a good one to know, you guys. Number 5, clean out the dryer ducts and the filters, because that's a major fire hazard. As I have now learned. So be sure to do that. The other 4 tips, I'll put them all in comments because it's hard for me to remember anything unless I write it down. So I'm going to put it there. And if you guys have questions, which I'm guessing you probably do, because if you guys know everything you're supposed to do with your house, then you are a much better woman than I am. So if you've got questions, let us know and we can get back to you. And you should definitely check out HomeSquare on Facebook. It's linked in the sort of info section, in the kind of text above where this video is. So you can click on over, and for me, it's been an amazing service just because it helps me also just learn the things I've never owned a house before. I don't know all this stuff, so I'm learning as I go and just making sure that the house stays healthy and stays safe. So Ernesto, thank you very much. Thank you as always. No, we love to be. This was awesome. Super. That's what we like to call ourselves. Well, so we'll do more of these, guys. So if you've got questions, definitely write them in, and hopefully this was helpful. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, guys. See ya. Thank you.